welcome William Giddings to the show. William?
How you doing, buddy?
Great. Thanks so much for coming in.
Oh, not a problem.
So, so let's see. Why don't you tell us first, what year were you born, where were you born, and where'd you grow up as a child?
I was born here in Ukiah back in 1970.
All right.
Homegrown from here. And went to school at Ukiah High School in South Valley. And,
Did you graduate?
no, I'm in the midst right now. I'm, start school in August.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and get my GED and, get my degree in, mechanics.
Okay.
Since I quit drinking, my whole life has done a 360.
Uh-huh.
Finally getting my butt back in school and got off the streets. Got a good place to work at, got a good place to live at now.
Uh-huh.
Just able to get my head out of my butt, you know,
Uh-huh.
and get things done.
Now, you say you've been sober for half a year,
Yes.
roundabouts, but you've been off the streets for 3.
Yes.
So you got inside while you
Yeah.
were still drinking.
Yeah.
How did you manage that? Just got lucky or worked hard at it or got sober enough for a minute?
That was just my way of living. I mean, I picked up that bottle from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed.
How much did you drink a day?
About a gallon a day.
About a gallon a day.
Yeah.
So a half gallon just wouldn't do it.
Well, no. Because after a while, when you drink like that for so long, it's where your body, you don't drink to get drunk the first part of it. You drink so you get the shakes off and all that because it becomes a physical need.
The shakes come every morning
Yeah.
when you drink that hard?
It caused me seizures. It was a very rough road.
So you drank a half a gallon of vodka in the morning and a half a gallon of vodka at night.
Yeah, basically.
And how much money did you have to spend every day to keep up this gallon vodka habit?
Good $20-25 a day.
25 bucks a day.
Well, when I was in the program before, one of my counselors, was saying, add up what you spend a day, times it by 100, times it by 10 for each year you drink. And I got to figuring that out. I could already bought 4 or 5 houses and, property or, just a waste of money,
Yeah.
And my wife, she's got almost 2.5 years. And she lives in Denver right now. So that's one of my main inspirations right there is my wife and I, we never had a sober relationship.
Uh-huh.
So it's all going to be anew. It's starting over in a new beginning.
So she's been sober 2.5 years.
Yeah.
You've been sober a half year.
Yeah.
You got a trip planned out to visit?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Pretty quick. I'm going to get my school started. I wanted to get everything centered first.
Uh-huh.
And then I can take my time and go spend some time and go see my kids and my granddaughter. And,
Yeah.
Just looking forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a day and night.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be gone for a little bit.
No, I mean day and night, the difference between
Oh,
drinking
yeah.
a gallon
yeah,
a day.
yeah.
So when you drank a gallon a day, could you still walk around and have a conversation?
90% of the time, yes.
Because most people, even a drinking person that drinks every night, if you drank a gallon, they'd just be done.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not nothing to be proud of.
Yeah.
10 years ago when I got my DUI, my alcohol level, it took an hour to get to the jail. And even then, when they gave me the test, it was 6.7. And I was normal. And so they gave me level 2. It's been 10 years since I've had my license, so I'm able now, for the first time, I got a clean slate, and I'm not about to mess it up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So, you let's see, what was I going to say? You've got, I'll take a second here. License. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, let's get your story kind of fleshed out here.
Okay.
Which I'm going to kind of go over again, just to have the whole picture for everybody to see.
All right.
And myself included. So sober for 6 months, living indoors for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're up in Lakeport. You live up
Lake Pillsbury.
Lake Pillsbury. You got a place up there. You're chopping wood for a living,
Mm-hmm.
for a store up there,
Yes.
and you got a room up there.
Yes.
And but you were doing that while they were employing you up there while you were drinking all day every day.
No. No, I just moved back up there. I haven't been up here the whole time.
Oh, okay.
I've been down here.
You were with your family while you were drinking indoors.
Yes.
Okay.
And up there, that's I don't drink.
Okay. They don't put up with that.
No.
Okay.
I just, they're giving me a chance to get my life together, and I'm not about to mess that up.
Okay.
This is too important to me.
Yeah.
It's a new foundation that I've never experienced in my life, so it's like, of course I'll be making a little bit of mistakes here and there yonder, but I know that I'm going to be centered out of this whole thing, and I'm going to keep that center.
Uh-huh.
And there's nothing that's going to take my sobriety away.
Uh-huh.
And pretty soon I'm going to be driving, having my truck, and things are now starting to fall into place. It's taking a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I learned how to harness the patience a little bit to where I don't get, how could I put it, overexerted.
Anxious?
Over anxious.
Uh-huh.
And wanting it come faster than it is. Because the minute I do that, I overlook things that are right in front of me.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes when you overlook those things, you don't need to. And so it's like I'm starting over in a new life that I've never had before. So it's something to...
Never had before, because you told me that you started drinking when you were 10.
I was in that bottle for 30 years.
What did you drink when you were 10?
I drank basically anything I could get my hands on. Canadian Mist. It just... Alcohol ran in my family, for many years.
So did you grow up in a family that was heavy drinkers?
Yes. My father,
Uh-huh.
he used to be a drinker, but now he's got 25 years off the sauce.
So your father hasn't drank for 25 years.
So.
And you've been drinking for 30.
I've been drinking for 30, yeah.
Uh-huh. So he got sober when you were a teenager.
Yes.
How did he get sober?
He just decided to stop.
No big crisis happened?
No.
Or?
He just got sick and tired of it.
Was he a heavy? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I guess he saw how I was getting, and he was trying to give me a positive role model, being the real father that he is.
Uh-huh. You see him much?
I haven't seen him in 5 years, but I talk to him all the time. He lives up in the Western Slope, down by Grand Junction.
Uh-huh.
And when I go back to see my wife, I'm going to go back to see him also.
So you talked to him since you sobered up?
Yeah. And he's very proud. The whole town back there is rooting for me. Colburn, it's like a little bit smaller in Potter Valley. And there's like 3 churches.
Everybody knows everybody?
Yeah. There's 3 churches, 2 gas stations, and that's about it, and a bank. It's a cow town.
So they all know you because you were a teenager there.
Well, I was grown.
Yeah.
I spent all my time here, and I moved to Colorado about when I was 21, 22, something around there.
Uh-huh.
And I stayed back there, got married. My kids, they're her kids, but they're my kids.
Uh-huh.
And totally grown. My granddaughter, she just turned 5 in November. I haven't seen her since she got out of when she got out of the hospital. So I got all sorts of nice pictures of my kids and my family.
And you're going to be able to have a relationship with them
Yes.
that's quite different than...
And that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Uh-huh.
You know, and this is something that when I open my eyes up to a different world, it just, one that's going to actually put my feet on solid ground. You know, like I said, there's no way in heck I'm going to jeopardize that.
So, you told me that you've never been diagnosed with any sort of mental disorder?
No.
No bipolar, no manic depressive, no schizophrenia?
No, my homelessness came from, a lot of it, I did it by choice, because I'm not an indoors type of person, really.
So you like the freedom or something?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, I mean, you know, there's some of us out there that would like to get out off the street, but not knowing how to get to the programs, or they're not strong enough to, you know, to take care of themselves, you know. I mean, some of them aren't strong enough to take care of themselves. And I'd like to help out in any way I can, you know. That's why I do what I do, you know. I mean, just because I'm indoors now doesn't change my way of thinking about my family on the streets.
Okay.
Because they are my family.
So you still have a lot of friends that live outside?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Tell me what your opinion is of how many of those people suffer from some sort of mental issue that probably helps a little bit keeping them on the streets. You think half of the people out there, or just a few of them, or most of them? Or?
Nobody should be on the streets, to tell you the truth. You know, I don't wish it upon nobody, because it's a hard life.
Uh-huh.
It's a very hard life, and I've seen it take lives. You know, and it just isn't nothing pretty.
Right.
You know, and to answer your question on that, yonder is there could be maybe about 30%, 35%.
Uh-huh. Maybe a third.
Yeah, but the majority of the people, they have a good level head on their shoulders.
Uh-huh.
You know.
And they're just caught up in the bottle or the pill?
Just caught up in society's, you know, caught up in the bottle, and, you know, and just don't know how to get out of it.
Uh-huh.
But the strength that I've gained since I stopped drinking, I'm trying to channel it to help the ones that I love out there.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm doing anything I possibly can, because that's just the way I was brought up.
Have you gotten any work yet at the food bank or in any of the programs? Because a lot of times when people sober up...
No, because, like I said, I cut wood for a living, so
okay.
I'm only down here taking care of things for school, then I'm heading back up home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I come down and I take care of my ma's, you know, during the week, and then go back up. But right now I'm just getting everything focused for my fall semester.
So is this the first time you're going into school?
Yes.
Okay, so this fall you're going to go into classes for the first time.
Yes.
Okay. Before we get to that and what you're doing now with school and your mom and stuff like that, wanted to finish painting this picture here. Started drinking when you were 10, grew up with a lot of drinking around you.
Yes.
And then another question that occurred to me is, you said the whole town's rooting for you back there in Colorado. Now, did you run around crazy in that town, and that's why for a few years in your early 20s or something, and so they all kind of know who you are? And
yeah, I kind of put my dad's truck in the side of a bridge.
Put your dad's truck in the side of a bridge?
Yeah, and I drove it home.
That'll get some attention in a small town.
Yeah, the constable wasn't too happy.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't too happy. Now that I know they quit drinking, they're giving me all the prayers. My dad goes to church quite a bit. So.
Okay. Well, it's good that you talk to your dad.
Yeah, I keep in touch with my family.
Yeah. Yeah, it must have been hard for him to see you drinking a gallon a day.
Oh, yeah. It was, you know, I got thinking about it, especially when I quit. It's like, how many people did I actually hurt besides myself? You know, and that's a tough one to gnaw at, you know, I mean. But for any healing, you have to face everything straightforward. You can't run from it, because the minute you run from it, there you are. So the problems are right at your feet, you know. And I'm so glad I came out of the alcohol. It just showed me a whole new way of life.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about your first couple weeks sober. That must have been quite an uncomfortable...
I was in the hospital a few times.
Doing what?
DTing, seizing up.
Seizuring.
And
just physical pain?
Physical pain, yeah. It was rough. I'm not going to lie to you.
For a couple weeks?
It was damn rough.
Uh-huh.
For at least the first month.
For at least the first month. You were so pickled.
Yeah, I was beyond that pickle jar. I was in a freaking... I was in that mason jar, right?
Yeah. So it took a month for you to fully be able to just wake up in the morning and not be seizuring or shaking.
And not shaking, not you know, and actually being able to eat a normal breakfast.
Okay. So you were able to eat a normal breakfast after a month?
Yeah. Well,
or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, you know, everybody's body's different.
Right.
You know. But,
and then how about your head, your mental space? Like that month.
I've gotten that back.
You've gotten that back, but it probably wasn't back the first month because you were so...
No, yeah, I was lost.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still kind of, you know, I don't urge for that drink, but I'm so tuned on getting my life together that sometimes I'll overlook the small things, you know. And
give me an example.
Just, you know, I guess you might call it mountain time. I don't have a perception of time sometimes, and I overlook some of the things that I need to get done, and I know better in my heart I need to get done. And one thing I've learned since I got sober is I learned to look at the whole pie, but I learned to break it up into pieces. You know, and I try to set 3 goals a day for myself, positive goals a day. So, you know, I mean, that way in my heart I know I did a good job that day.
Was that a tool that you learned from AA?
From AA, yes.
Set 3 goals and do them.
It was my own personal opinion, you know, but AA has given me the strength to find out who I am inside, and given me the tools that I need to progress.
Did you do much? Were you much friendly with AA during your drinking times?
Yes.
So you've been. It's no new friend. You've been with AA for a long time.
Yeah, I've been with AA for a while.
Okay.
And
so you drank from age 10 to age 39, basically.
Yeah.
And let's hear about what happened last year that made you not take a drink that next day.
Well, I have a good friend out there yonder. His name was Ron Patro. And we used to call him Yosemite Sam. He looked like Yosemite Sam, you know. And we partied together. We drank many moons. And when I heard he died in November, well, it was before Thanksgiving. Me and him got together and we were talking. And he kept asking me to get off that bottle, you know, and I was shining it on.
When he was sick and dying?
When he was sick, when he was dying. And then when I heard he died, that's when I stopped. I went cold turkey all the way. I just said, hell with it. If I'm meant to die or I'm meant to live, just do what you will with me, God. You know, show me the way. And here I am.
Yeah.
And I kept that promise. And it's been really hard watching all your friends and family just basically die right in front of you because of something stupid. You know, I mean, alcohol to me is nothing but it's been my worst enemy for many years. And I just won't go back to that life.
It killed a lot of people in the last couple of years?
Oh, yes.
A lot of young people in their 40s and 50s.
Yes, we just lost David Reagan not too long ago too, and yeah, just too many people over fucking stupid. Excuse my French.
It's all right.
Over something stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and
Well, it's hard to quit.
I lost my stepfather because of alcohol.
You lost your stepfather. How long ago was that?
Oh, about 10 years ago.
10 years. And he was a good guy to you?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And him and me mom were married, 15 years.
Uh-huh.
You know, and yeah, just, if there's anything I gotta say out there, yonder, to anybody, is keep the faith. It'll take you far.
Uh-huh.
You know, and you make up your mind to do something, keep it. Because it may not look it right now, but I'm getting all my stuff in a row right now.
Yeah.
For when I can, I'm getting ready to put my daughter through, my granddaughter through college. I'm setting up a fund for that.
Uh-huh. Couple bucks every week? Throw in a couple bucks every week?
Yeah, so she can, I'm going to set it up where she'll have a college fund.
Yeah, I've got one for my kid. Every time I get a couple bucks, I throw it in, and it compound interest, and the next thing you know, I like to say that by the time he's 3 years old, you know, kind of like your granddaughter's 5.
Yeah.
So by the time he's in college, he'll be $1 million.
Yep.
He'll be able to afford the first year of college.
No doubt.
That's what it'll cost. It costs her.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Crazy.
Yeah. Just,
so keeping the faith and having people. So it just wore down on you, just person after person in your associations.
I hit rock bottom. I couldn't go no further.
You hit rock bottom because of sadness of people dying around you?
Everything. You know, I mean, my seizures, watching people die, you know, and it just, I'd rather help.
Yeah.
Than I would sit back and just not do anything.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't see that in a person.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Do you have a seizure every day or every week?
I used to.
You used to have to drink a seizure every day. Just drink till you had a seizure every day, pretty much.
Oh, I was having 15, 20 seizures a day.
Really?
At some point, I was.
Did you know that
Ukiah Valley Medical Center was my best friend there for a while. I was their worst enemy.
They spent a lot of money on you, huh?
I have to thank the hospital. They're angels. They're just they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
They see me through the worstest times in my life.
Uh-huh.
And now they see me progress, and I owe that to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, part of the system helping to keep you going.
Yeah.
So. Well, that's pretty lucky. I mean, I'm pretty impressed that you're a year and a half that you never. What was the longest time you went sober before this stage here? Did you go a week?
3 months.
3 months. And how long ago was that?
About 7 years ago.
7 years ago or so, you managed to go 3 months. So you went through the DTs then too.
Yeah.
And went through all the harshness.
I figured it. You know, either it's going to kill me or it's going to make me better.
Uh-huh.
So I just tossed the coin. You know, I was sick and tired of being sick.
Uh-huh.
So I said, no more.
So 7 years ago, you managed 3 months, which is pretty good. And what happened to make you slip back? Just drank a beer one day, or what happened?
I didn't want to back then. I thought in my own heart I was forced into it. I didn't understand the concept of sobriety and what it could do for me. I just wasn't ready. You know, plain simple fact, I wasn't ready.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm ready, and I'm gunned up, and I'm going full force with this.
How have you found the services in Ukiah to be helpful or not?
I really don't use them.
Okay.
But I'm not saying that I don't know that much about them, but I do know people that use them, and there are some good programs out there. I just don't know about them very much.
So you don't go, you've never been to Buddy Eller? You never spent the night at Buddy Eller?
No, I spent one night there, but that was years ago. That's right after Betty Eller passed away.
Uh-huh.
you know. And
You
all in
never
all,
checked
it's a
into
good-
Ford Street?
No.
Go to the food bank?
I go to the food bank now. and then, you know,
Plowshares?
yeah, I go to the food bank. I go to Plowshares.
Uh-huh.
But mainly, I just stay up on the mountain when I can, you know.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, what I'd like to see, what Ukiah really needs, is a regular detox center.
Uh-huh.
You know, for the people that are, you know, drunk and stuff. Something like Ford Street, you know. I mean, instead of taking them to jail, you know, you start something up like Ford Street, you know, or something. You know, and instead of filling up the drunk tanks for full, you know, and just keeping them full. I mean, that's how they ran it in Denver, and it seemed to work out pretty good.
Okay, so Denver's a town of 2 million,
Yeah.
and they had a really substantial detox center.
Yeah, it's just something to, you know, I mean, it would knock out so much unnecessary problems.
Drama. That's what
yeah.
you said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would just knock it out.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You know,
And we just have too small of one of those in this town, the Ford Center. Isn't the Ford Center set up for more narcotics than alcohol, or is it both?
it's for everything.
Okay, it's for everything. It's for detoxing.
Yeah, it's for detoxing. But they
Uh-huh.
just need something a little bit bigger, is all I'm saying. You know, is
Yeah.
all I'm suggesting, you know.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
it's the first time I've ever been on TV, so I'm
Yeah.
just kind of like...
No, that's great. That's great.
You know.
No, I really appreciate you coming in and talking.
Oh, that's not a
talking.
problem. I mean, I'll help in any way I can.
This is basically, you know, the whole concept of the show is to basically just take a look at how life is for homeless folks. I mean, there's several hundred homeless folks, or however many there are in Ukiah.
There's quite a few, but you know what? A lot of us, you know, we have our own gig, you know, to make money, a lot of recycling and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, there are people out there that are willing to work, more than willing to work.
Uh-huh.
It's just, work's just so hard to find right yonder, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, it's...
Well, you know, one of the things you were telling me, you were saying that that some people choose to be homeless and some people wish they were in an apartment and
Yeah.
just can't get it
They
together
just
to
can't
get
get it-
that
that's right.
first last deposit, or
It's just a little
keep
bit.
the job, or
Yeah, some of them are, you know, they're not physically fit to keep a job.
because of drugs, or just because of
because of-
disabilities.
Disabilities and,
Uh-huh.
you know, and stuff like that. I mean, I wish there was a way that they could, you know, it's like the Section 8, I'm trying to get that right now, but I don't know how to go about that, but I'm trying. See, I'm even trying to program this myself. I'm going around asking, because I'm on a low income too also.
Now, Section 8, I thought that was a mental disability thing.
No,
That's
no,
a
that's
physical.
housing.
But Section 8 for housing, I thought that was just for mental disabilities, but it's also for the cerebral palsy that you have?
Oh, I could get it because I was born with this.
Right. So you can get Section 8 because of a physical disability?
Yes.
Okay. I thought for some reason that Section 8 was just for mental disabilities.
Well, a disability is a disability.
Okay. Sure,
You know,
sure.
I mean,
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know where to point you, except for just ask everybody that you see. Like, ask at the food bank, and you'll say, oh, I don't know. Ask at Buddy Eller, I don't know. Ask at Ford Street, and they'll say, go to this office.
yeah.
You know, have you been pointed right to the office and the
Well,
papers?
I have to get my butt down there and go get her done.
So you know what office to go to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. What is that office? I don't even know.
It's right across from. I know where it's at. I'm just trying to think of the name of it. It's right across from the fairgrounds, on this side.
Right across.
It's
from
directly
the
across from the
There's a
fairgrounds.
stereo store there, and there's a TV store.
It's on this side of the video store, I believe.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what office that is. I can't remember. Oh, Office of
Opportunities or something like this.
North Coast Opportunities.
North Coast Opportunities. That's where it is.
Is that what it is?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So North Coast Opportunities is for Section 8 paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I need a list. You know, I do this show and I talk to a lot of people.
How long have you been doing the show now?
Just you're my fifth guest. Yeah.
Right on.
But I really enjoy it. You know, I like getting to know you guys, and I like to hear the stories, the hard stories, the good stories. So, you know, one good thing that we could focus on for a minute. You say that you like the outdoors, and that a lot of times homelessness is a choice for you. I mean, that kind of puts a positive. That's kind of a positive way to look at it.
Yeah, that's the way I've always been. You know, I mean, God forbid I don't like being out in the rain.
Sure.
You know, when it's overbearing.
When it rains for 6 months out of the year here?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, that's when I choose to be indoors, but when it comes to the summertime and stuff like that, you know, I stay outdoors as much as I possibly can.
Yeah. So you still, do you ever stay out at the tracks with all your buddies, your family?
Oh, yeah. Just because I'm indoors doesn't mean that I don't, you know, just because I'm indoors, I don't change my attitude towards them because I'm indoors. I don't think I'm better than you.
Yeah. Now,
you know, that's just not right.
Now, a half a year sober, you know, summer's coming on. Tis the season to like hang out outside and have sleep outs all the time, and you know, no harsh ripping winds and rain and everything like this. Have you yet? I mean, how do you approach people that you see are really killing themselves quickly? Do you proselytize much, or do you mention it a little bit?
I tell them straight up, blunt. You're not doing good, son. You know, I mean, why beat around the bush about it?
Yeah.
You know, especially the ones I care about and I love. You know, I'll stand up and I'll say, hey, man, you're not looking too good. You know, let me help you or something. You know, I mean. And that's basically what I mean. A lot of people don't understand where I come from, you know, where I'm coming from on this. But it's just the way I was raised up, you know, is when you see somebody sick or something like that, you don't turn your blind eye. You know, it doesn't make me feel good in my heart.
Now, if you're hanging out with 6 people, when you're hanging out, are you the only sober one?
No.
Okay.
I have a few people down there just because, you know, I mean, they won't drink or nothing. They don't get all... No, I stand up for my friends.
Yeah.
You know?
So not everybody's partying all the time.
No.
There's a few people like you on your side of the fence that are going clean and...
Yeah. So they kind of look up to us, you know. We give them inspiration. You know, by being sober, you know. And you know, it's like, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You know, and
have you had any luck? Have you gotten anybody to check into the Ford Center? I guess that's what you do in this town, right? That's the only option?
I guess it's their choice if they want to go. You know, I'm not gonna.
I mean, you don't have to push them, but you could say, hey, you could point it out to them and say, hey, it's right over there.
Yeah.
You ever done that?
Also, several times. You know, and some you know, some of the people that I helped, they've moved on, and you know, and they keep in touch now and then. And they're doing good. You know, everybody slips up now and then. It's when you recognize that you are slipping up, that's the key right there.
Yeah.
You know, it's saying, you know, you gotta give what you freaking think up here a chance to work.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm learning in my sobriety, is that patience is a virtue. You know.
So you just got some patience now that you didn't have
before. Oh no. You know, and
your patience before was, I need my breakfast vodka right now.
That first thing was that bottle.
Yeah.
And that's not the case anymore.
Yeah. Did you eat much when you were drinking a gallon a day?
I mean,
you gotta eat a sandwich a day or you die, right?
There was sometimes I wouldn't eat for 3 or 4 days. You know, I'd be that pickled.
Yeah.
You know, and I sure don't miss that life. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. No, it sounds pretty tough. So, when you drank, were you violent drunk? Were you angry?
No. I mean, there's at times I could have been because I blacked out. I don't remember, but I'd wake up in the middle of a field or something, or cut black and blue and bleeding. You know, I didn't know how in the hell I did it. So yeah.
So you don't remember?
Don't remember.
But you weren't a notorious thrasher, drunk person.
Harmful to myself.
You ever get desperate and like steal or
No.
do any criminal stuff like that?
No.
Because you didn't need to?
I didn't need to. I
20
always
bucks.
panhandled, or I always recycled for monies.
Yeah. How much money do you make a day on a good recycle day? Can you make 20, 40 bucks?
30, I've made about 45, 50 bucks. That's the most I've made in a day.
Okay.
But what I usually basically do is I'll go out and I'll wash windows over at the co-op,
Uh-huh.
you know, and they gave me permission to, them in the laundromat,
Uh-huh.
give me permission to be there. I just go wash car windows, or then I'll go do landscaping, you know, and go door to door and just see if they need some work done.
So you go door to door and ask people if they need their...
If it looks like their yard needs to be worked on, and then they go, well, they quote me what price, and I just say, whatever feels good in your heart.
Uh-huh.
And it seems to work out pretty good. I'm able to stash some money a little bit. So
Were you able to do that kind of door-to-door work or windshields when you were drinking?
I did for a while, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But then I got off that habit, you know. I mean, I had to totally break down from the old life and start a new one.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still working on that myself right now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 30 years is a long, long ride, and half a year is sort of just the beginning of that.
Oh, I haven't even hit the barrelhead yet.
Do you have any sort of, like, safety line if you slip and drink for a week, and then all of a sudden, I got to call somebody. I got to call my dad, or I got to call my... Is there anybody that...
Yes, I have several people.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Well, that's helpful, huh?
Make sure that, yeah.
That's how AA works. You have a sponsor, right?
Yeah.
Is that one of your
Sponsors and
people?
coaches, and yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for AA in those rooms right there.
You wouldn't be here if it weren't for AA in those rooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and sure helped out my life, 1,000%.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're obviously in a really good place right now compared to where you were 1 year ago today.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
I was in that hospital about, oh heck, 5 or 6 days out of the week for a while.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's why I say, thank God for those people right there yonder. I mean, they're my family in there.
So there's people in the hospital right now, DTing probably. Every day
probably,
there's somebody
maybe.
in there.
Maybe.
Yeah. Huh.
You know, I mean, that's what I'm saying too. You know, it's like with the detox center, even the hospitals would be, you know,
attached.
Well, it's like, if not attached, but I mean, the treatment center, they have their own. They have everything right there to treat for, you know, DTs and all that.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, I couldn't stress it enough. You know, I mean, if I had the money, I'd do that. You know, I'd open it up in a heartbeat. You know, for the simple fact.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that way people don't feel pushed. They don't, how can I explain it? Yeah, they just don't feel pushed into something that they don't want to do.
Now, what you're referring to is the mandatory court-ordered?
Yeah, that
Go
too.
to
I mean,
is that what pushed is? Is that what you're talking about, pushed? No.
No, what I'm saying is, like, when they go into, say, like, they go into the jails or they go into the hospitals, they don't have the, you know, especially when they're DTing. I know because I've went through it. There's just not enough people, you know, in the jail system or in the hospital system to really care for the people that want to really quit drinking. You know, there's just not enough time and not enough resources.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd love to see that change.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd give more people inspiration to want to quit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not be treated like you did something bad. You know, I'm not saying anything like about, you know, the jails or the hospitals or anything. I mean, there's just not enough darn freaking resources.
Yeah, well, you know, they cut AODP this year. The county did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they cut AODP because the county's simply out of money. You know, the county's laying off everything. And it's just, it really, you know, the sheriff's budget is threatened, which is public safety. and then public health is getting cut because they just have less money than last year. Just simple as that.
I don't see how that's
they have
possible.
$200 instead of $300. So you got to lay some people off, and it really matters because this the AODP, the sheriff handles drunk tank.
Yeah.
And it's going to be more stressful for him to do that job.
And then
the sober up, the health department side of things, they're going to have less people, just like you said, in the hospitals.
It's just getting crazy. There's not enough resources.
Yeah, but I do know that I've heard some people testify to the county and say, I would be dead if it weren't for AODP. And now I'm a counselor for AODP, and I've been sober for 5 years or 10 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm helping other people. So don't cut our funding because this is a miracle what's going on here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel, I wish there was more people out there like that.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple, and they need all the help they can get. So as your journey of soberness continues, you'll probably bump into those people and have some conversations with them and have perhaps an opportunity to, do some good work now that you're capable of it.
Yeah, oh, no doubt.
Yeah, that's interesting. So got about 15 minutes left. Let's see, what else did we not cover? So it sounds like, we haven't talked about your mom yet. It sounds like you've got a good relationship with your dad at this point, and you had some good conversations with him recently since you've been sober, and that sounds pretty promising, and you've got plans to head out there. I want to talk about your school a little bit, your ideas there in the fall, and how about your mother? Tell me about what you're doing. You're up in Lake Pillsbury, but you come down all the time.
I come down all the time. She's got COPD.
What is CODP?
Oh, I don't know exactly what the name for it is, but it has to do with lung restrictions.
Okay, so it's
a respiratory disease.
Respiratory disease. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's just stage 4, and love her to death, and just kind of like taking care of her and whatnot.
Yeah. So how is she a drinker or is she quit?
No. She don't drink. She don't smoke.
Even when you were growing up?
No. It was just more my dad. He was the alcoholic.
Okay, so it's just you and your dad.
Yeah.
So your mom, you come down and take care of her. How old is she?
66.
Uh-huh. And she's here in Ukiah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just run and get groceries and take care of the house a little bit.
Yeah.
Check in on her. Uh-huh. That's good. Okay.
Getting ready to go pull some weeds over there after I get done here.
Uh-huh. So tell me about school. Where did you go to talk to people about doing the paperwork and getting signed up for classes? GED, you said?
Oh, yeah. Well, I went directly to the college, to the financial aid.
Uh-huh.
And they set me up. They got me registered. Now I just need to there's 3 tests I need to take. One is my aptitude test. And then there's a placement test, and there's one for my financial aid, which is my GED test.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, then I start, I'm doing my basics right now. Just basic math, English, getting brushed up on what I didn't get, during high school.
Uh-huh.
Then I'm going to go to mechanics and get my AA in mechanics.
Uh-huh.
And just work it off from there and see. Eventually, I'm going to become a heavy equipment operator.
Okay.
I'm going to get certified for heavy equipment.
Uh-huh.
But I want to just brush up on my regular education first.
Right.
Just start from the beginning, because if I don't start from the beginning, all I'll do is just cheat myself. And I don't want to do that.
So you're going to go in, remember your math.
Yeah.
And reading and writing and whatnot, and then you're going to take mechanics. You can take
auto mechanics.
Auto mechanics. Uh-huh.
and then maybe diesel mechanics. Just because if I'm going to become a heavy equipment operator, I got to get to know how everything runs and stuff in case it breaks down or something like that, and just
Yeah, you got to be
basic
familiar with
knowledge.
the machine. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always just basic knowledge right now.
Did you tinker? Were you a mechanic? Are you a tinkerer at all with
A
small
little
engines,
bit here and there.
bikes,
Nothing
motorcycles?
really.
Nothing really.
Nothing really.
Yeah.
Nah.
What were your hobbies? How did you spend the day back in the years when you were drinking a gallon of vodka a day?
At the lake and at the river.
Just chilling,
Fishing.
fishing.
Fishing,
Yeah.
a little bit of hunting.
Uh-huh.
Not hunting, but just a lot of fishing.
Uh-huh. So you weren't like busy tinkering a bunch of engines or doing
No.
mechanics and
That's just something I've always wanted to do, and it's a good, it's a good tool to have.
uh-huh.
I mean, you break down in the middle of nowhere, especially I live out in the middle of nowhere, so I got to be able to fix anything that breaks down.
Uh-huh.
That's just a necessity.
Yeah. So you live in the middle of nowhere, but it's still a little store where there's
Yeah.
a few other people around and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Lake Pillsbury.
It's
Is
like
it that,
everything's run off generators.
Is it that store that's right by the lake?
Mm-hmm. Right as you go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
Right there.
I've been there once or twice. Okay, so you got school. You're going to start in the fall. You went right up to the school. Who sent you to the who gave you that idea?
Myself.
Uh-huh.
Because I just...
You just said GED, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Uh-huh. And you went
So-
right up to the college?
Yep, went right up to college and
Said, "Let me in."
Just go do this, and do this, and you'll be all right.
Uh-huh.
I got all my grants are approved right now. I just got to take those 3 tests, and
Uh-huh.
I'm off to school I go.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I went to school and loved every minute of it.
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of fun. A lot of fun. A lot of work. And I don't know. I enjoy reading.
Yeah, reading.
They make you read like crazy, so yeah, I liked it. Can you read?
Yeah, I can read and write. And,
Uh-huh. You
I can
managed
do-
to learn how to read and write, even though you started drinking at 10.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I fried a lot of brain cells, and I'm getting them back now.
Yeah. Wow. Fried a lot of brain cells.
Yeah.
Can't believe a person can drink a gallon a day for 20 years.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Now all I do, I get my medical marijuana, and that's what I do.
Uh-huh.
And that encouraged me from drinking. That's helped me tremendously.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, that's very interesting. So,
Because they call marijuana a drug. It's not a drug. It's a medicine. I
yeah, a
mean,
lot of people say that around here.
It helped me.
Now, a lot of people
Quit
use it as a
completely.
drug, though, because they just drink and smoke and take crack and take
Well,
pills.
they say it's a gateway to all drugs.
Uh-huh.
They call it the gateway drug, but to me, it's not. I've been smoking it all my life, just about.
So, how much were you just a regular smoker of cannabis when you were doing your heavy drinking? You just
Mhm.
puff joints
Yeah,
also?
Yeah, I used to get stoned too.
Okay. Now, so now that you're in the sober phase for the last half year, how does that relate now? You said it actually helps you.
It helps me. It helps me eat.
So
it helps me.
helps you
the
eat,
pain.
helps
I
the
live in
pain.
constant pain.
Why
all
do
the
you live
time.
in constant pain?
I have cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And then I have an ACL tear in my right knee.
Uh-huh. How long ago did you get an ACL tear?
It's been about 2.5 years.
Okay.
So hopefully here pretty quick I'm going to be getting my surgery. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on getting my surgery. I got to go through that physical therapy.
And that'll help take the pain away.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because that's one thing that I'm afraid of right there is losing my mobility.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, if it happens, I'll overcome it, but I'm not going to let it happen.
Yeah, you're going to work. That's one thing to keep on. Take care of your leg. Make sure you don't
Yeah.
have to. Yeah. You told me before we started, you mentioned something about your drinking days of you died 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hear a little bit about that. That's pretty crazy.
I was in Denver, and I was staying in a loft up above in the garage. And it's about a 17-foot drop, 15, 16, something like that. And I fell in mid-seizure, but it's the only thing that saved my... I was clinically dead then for 7 minutes. Don't really remember much. Got to see some of my family, whatnot. But anyway.
Got to see some of your family?
Yeah, on the other side.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, I saw my great aunt, my grandma, my great grandma, and it just said it's not your time yet. And it was on the ocean on the sand.
But you were able to say hello.
I was able to say hello. Then I woke up.
And you woke up.
And ever since then, I might say I have angels on my side.
Uh-huh.
So that's where I get a lot of my positive energy and a lot of my attitude that I have now.
Uh-huh.
Because I learned to respect and take life and look at life with a totally different aspect, and that is how much respect you have for yourself is carry you so far. It's hard to put into words.
Yeah.
You know, but I do have my lifeline attached to me. To keep me out of the darkness.
Uh-huh.
I wish that would be the booze.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of
So I guess you might say it's appreciation of life.
Uh-huh.
And
before you had a little less of that?
Yeah.
You didn't have quite the appreciation of life that you do now?
Exactly. You know, because I didn't understand it. Now I do. You know, I mean.
Well, I'd call it pretty impressive. You know, some luck in there probably, but you know, for you to go a year and a half, you know, that's for you to go a half a year, 190 days. That's pretty good. Now you did say that you had a slip.
Yeah, I slipped and I had a couple of drinks, and that was about 8 days ago.
Uh-huh.
But I picked it up. Time's only time. Tools I always have.
Yeah.
You know.
So you lost your time.
I just lost
as
my
far
time.
as stone sober.
Yeah.
Your 190 days.
But I didn't
you still
lose
have your
the tools.
Right.
I still have the tools.
So was that kind of scary for you looking back? Like, whoa, I just did that. No.
I didn't like it because I started getting a little tipsy, and I like having full control of my movements.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm not going back to this. There ain't no way.
Yeah.
Not waking up being sick or waking up shaking or.
Yeah.
And that's why I smoke my weed, because it keeps me at a level keel. You know, and it helps me.
Do you ever get the urge to drink, and then you just smoke instead?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, I still have urges to drink, but not overbearing enough where I want it.
Yeah.
I just go ahead and smoke me a joint.
Yeah.
No big thing.
Yeah. And that helps with the pain of your knee?
It helps with my pain in my knee, and it helps out tremendously.
Uh-huh.
You know, and the police and all them, they know that I got it legal, so they don't mess with me on that.
Uh-huh.
You know,
the county and the sheriff?
Yeah.
I mean, the city and the county?
Yeah, they know I smoke.
Uh-huh.
You know, as long as I don't smoke it out on State Street, or, you know, and I'm trying to duck, you know, or something, or just being respectful about it.
Uh-huh.
You know.
And they all know you?
Yeah.
Did they pick you up a lot? And
they used to.
Yeah.
When I was drinking. Now.
But they didn't pick you up for beating on people or getting beat on?
No.
They just picked you up for being
drunk in public.
Yeah, just flopping all around.
Yeah, you know, because they go, come on, William, get in the back. We're taking you in. All right. You know. I mean, it ain't nothing to laugh at, but now I look at it, I can do nothing but laugh.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was that way, actually, really, for real?
Yeah.
Yep. You know, I go, wow.
What would they tell you?
You know, they're even proud of me right now. You know, they're saying good job.
Uh-huh.
You know, they don't mess with me no more because I don't give them no reason to mess with me. I don't do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I'm open about smoking my weed. You know, and if you want to call that a crime, I guess I'm a criminal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Not around these parts, apparently.
No.
Everybody's pretty lenient, getting more lenient, it seems like.
Oh, they could be used for so many different directions. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But that's between here or there.
Yeah. Let's see, we got about 3 minutes left. Okay, well, our guest today, remind me, you know, I got to mention this every 10 minutes. I like to mention this every 10 minutes. I'm trying, but I forgot about it. Our guest today was William Giddings. He's a Ukiah resident. He's been here his whole life, and we just kind of heard his whole story. Right now, he's 40. He's going to turn 41 in October this year. He's made it 190 days as at this point of being sober, and that's coming off of 30 years where for the last, how many, 20 of that, you were drinking a gallon a day. He was up to a gallon a day, which is easily gotten by collecting $20 worth of recyclables or $20 worth of panhandling, and you've got your gallon. Enormous amount of alcohol. He
I'm
got
lucky
into,
to be alive.
What's that?
I'm lucky to be alive.
He says he's lucky to be alive. He had all kinds of time in the hospital, all kinds of time getting picked up and put in the drunk tank over and over, and so now he's got a new situation, a new just a new perspective on life. Kind of picked him up at a lucky time. If I had picked him up a year ago, would have been a different interview. We would have talked about some different things and would have got some different versions of these stories. But yeah, I just want to really thank you for coming in. Never been on television before and sharing your story with us. And I don't know how much to say. Good luck, man, but that is a big deal. And so I hope that...
All I can say is when you put the effort into it, when you fully put the effort into it, the fruits are bearable and are very fruitful.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
and with hard work becomes great reward.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, we'll have you back on the show in 6 months. No matter what happens. If you know where we are. Come say hi anytime.
Yeah, most definitely.
And we'll see how the progress goes. See how this town treats you. See how you know. It sounds like the cops are friendly now, and and the services are out there. You're going to school and everything, so
doing good.
Yeah, great.
I'll definitely keep up the progress.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, William, for coming on the show.
Oh, most definitely.
So yeah, this is Jason. I'm going to sign out. Roll that. I think we got about a minute left. Roll a couple seconds of that promo, and thanks all for watching. And we'll see you next week.
There you go.